Three, two, one. Welcome to The Sounding. We aim to provide sexual trauma survivors with a path to healing in order to tell their stories. We always like to start with a little disclaimer. We're not therapists, lawyers, doctors. We're just here having conversation about things that matter to us. So thank you always for joining in and being here.
Yes, we love that you guys are part of the conversation just by watching our videos. So again, like, subscribe, share, comment, all the wonderful things that YouTube people need in order to stay alive and stay present in their field, and we really feel like what we're talking about is important. So as survivors ourselves, we want to talk about comfort in the darkness is what we're calling it. So this is this strange, and not so strange, but this phenomenon that happens to a lot of trauma survivors where they are drawn to darkness, dark behaviors, dark shows, dark music, things that, in my opinion, get their adrenaline flowing, because when you are traumatized, there is an adrenal surge and you go into a fight or flight. And when you're traumatized regularly, like a lot of child sexual trauma survivors, it's a regular thing, your body is constantly in this rush, this adrenaline rush. And so things like horror movies and serial killer obsession or roller coasters or behaviors that are deemed dangerous become natural, and they feel normal because that's what your entire childhood was like. And strangely, that feels like home to you because that's what you were raised to
You're
feel.
programmed.
As a program.
It's literally, neurologically you get wired that way, and it's a thing. It is a phenomenon that it's in lots of studies.
Right.
Survivors end up seeking high-risk behaviors because that's all they know.
Right, and it feels natural. And so for me, during my healing process, it is comforting. You know, I watched a lot of
Not that they're
shows.
like, yay. No, it's just, I know how to, for me as a survivor in my high-risk behavior, I knew how to handle myself when I was out here meeting all these guys off, Facebook, because it was the thing back in the day in college. High-risk behavior, drinking, and,
it feels natural.
I felt in control. You feel in control.
Yes.
That's the comfort.
You do. Right. And it wasn't until, I always knew this on a sociological level or physiological level, I had reasoned with myself about it, but I still craved it. And it wasn't until I think ayahuasca helped a lot, but even before that, got to a place where I craved peace, that I can't do that stuff anymore. And I know we've talked about it a little bit, but I'm very serious about it. It upsets me now, and now I find comfort and peace. Mm-hmm. But I also, I live sometimes a really boring life, and people are like, oh my God, I would love that. And it's beautiful. I have a lot of time to do what I want to do. I don't really have anybody bothering me. My kids are raised. I'm not married. But I get bored in peace, and that's when I start to think ooh, maybe, and then I have to talk myself off the ledge. No, it's really challenging as a trauma survivor to find comfort and peace, because it's not something we ever have the luxury
comfort in chaos.
Comfort in the chaos, right? So part of healing is, I tell my clients and my friends that are going on this healing, is that that you're really starting to heal when that kind of stuff makes you uncomfortable and you crave more innocent things or more peaceful things or time alone, because that is a safe space and you no longer need chaos to feel alive. So that's part of this.
And it really is a neurological wiring, that rewiring that takes place.
Yeah.
So
plant medicine helps.
Yeah, you
with
got to do a
that.
lot of different,
You do.
try a lot of different
You
things to figure out what is going to be the one or several things that work for you to really become aware, number one, of your pattern behaviors that are maybe not constructive, but
Right.
rather destructive.
Right.
And then number two, figure out how you're going to replace that.
Right. Yes. Yes, because you have to fill this gap of excitement. So, just be kind with yourself as you're doing this. Observe your behavior. Know that dopamine is a real thing, and that, like, your neurological wiring, dopamine comes from without and serotonin comes from within. So you really want to kind of think about these chemicals that our brain creates and have a better understanding of observing yourself. What makes you comfortable? Why do you like that stuff? What happens if you, turn on something else that's lighthearted?
When you're stressed, what is your immediate go-to?
Right, right, absolutely. And then, how do you feel? Because I know I used to be able to watch a horror movie and I would think I felt fine, but looking back on it, like, I was hyped up afterwards, you know? And so this calm place of just being settled and, really breathing is a wonderful way to get yourself resettled. And don't expose yourself to things. Don't feel like you have to expose yourself to things that are chaotic. It's okay to start to enjoy the easier, more peaceful parts of life.
Watching the birds.
I love the birds. Like, I'm just so, an old person.
I know, I think of my 108-year-old Graham. She lived to be 108, and she watched birds for many of, the last of her years.
I'm all about watching the birds, and I'm not nearly that age. But
Right.
So just calming yourself down, So just observe yourself. I guess that would be the healing practice that I would say is simple observation. How do things make you feel? How do you feel when you sit down and eat an entire large pizza as compared to when you have a smoothie? Like, do you really want to continue to punish yourself for the things that happened to you as a child? Or do you want to love yourself into a more peaceful alignment?
I love it.
Yeah. All right, so subscribe, keep watching our videos, keep doing the work out there. It takes a village, and I think as we heal, we can certainly start seeing the planet raise up. So when one survivor speaks,
when all survivors speak,
all
when any survivors
that's
speak,
the silence,
when we all speak, the silence ends.
Absolutely. So speak up, babies. Namaste.
Leave me hanging.